Hi, today I will be learning something that is usually quite boring and not interesting to the opposite. I will be using this piece of walnut that I have as a leftover from another project. First, resawing it into thinner pieces with the table saw, as I don't have a bandsaw. Once I have the two pieces, a quick run at the jointer and planer to make them smooth, before coming back to the table saw to start cutting the pieces for the box. First, cutting the pieces to rough size and then with a stop plug cutting them to match and be the exact size that I need. And maybe a bit weird order of operations, but after doing that I went and rip cut the pieces to be the right width as well. After that, taking off the riving knife and cutting the groove for the bottom panel using a scrap piece of wood to get the perfect fit. Then I did a little dry fit before the assembly, and as you can see we actually have these reusable last objects tissues, and the box has this compartment at the bottom to store the used tissues before washing, so I will be making a slot to the bottom panel to be able to still utilize that. First marking where to cut it and then just simply making the holes on the drill press. Then sanding the insides of the box before the glue up, as it is much easier now than after. To hold the pieces together at the beginning I am using some blue tape, but to get the joints really tight I will be utilizing some band clamps. While the glue is drying I can start working on the top. First cutting a couple of pieces from the walnut, and as you can see here I finally made a crosscut sled for myself. To add some contrast to the piece, I will be adding a couple of pieces from maple to the top as well. Next, I did some testing on the layout before marking down where to make the cuts for the joints. Then marking them down with a marking gauge and a knife. To take off the bulk of the material I am using handheld router, and to get the perfect fit finishing the joints with a chisel. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, please leave it a like, it helps the video to spread to more people. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe the channel as well. Then, before glue up, a quick dry assembly to see that everything fits as it's supposed to. And there is something oddly satisfying when you get a good fit on a hand cut joint. With the top almost done, I can now move back to the box and add some small details to it in the form of splines from maple again for the contrast. To not have the top be so boxy, I wanted to add chamfer or bevel or whatever you call these to make it visually more pleasing. To make the cut safely, I made this quick jig from some plywood. Then, as everything was almost ready, it was time to do some sanding, and after that to add the final details. I added a chamfer to the inside edge of the box. As the router bit leaves the corners rounded, I had to do some hand tool work to get it finished. and doing the final hand sanding on the chamfers and to break all the edges as well. For the finish, I'm using Osmos clear wax that I had on my shelf. And it is really nice feeling to see the grain and the contrasting colors pop with that. This was a smaller project, but I really do think that this is one of the nicer looking pieces that I've made. Maybe it is the wood choice, as the bigger pieces I've made are mostly from birch and it is not visually as nice looking as walnut, but it is a whole lot cheaper than these. If you made it all the way to the end, let me know down in the comments what is your favorite small project, and I'll see you on the next one.